Welcome to our Monday, October 7th, 2024, Madison County School Board meeting. This meeting is now officially called to order. Let us please stand for a moment of silence and the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would any board member like to amend the agenda, any item they would like to amend the agenda?
No, ma'am.
There be none. We're going to pull 5.4, that's fencing project at Madison County High School. May I have a motion for the adoption of the agenda, please?
I move to adopt the agenda.
I second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Gibson, second by Mrs. Knight, that we adopt the agenda. All in favor, please show your hands. Ms. Bishop, 5-0. We're going right on to item number 3, that's the public comment.
Madam Chair, you want to do the presentation? I can do that, he's not here.
I don't see here where there's... Oh, okay. I've skipped all the way down to the whatever. 1.2, presentation by the Madison County Foundation for Excellence in Education.
Okay, Mrs. Tim Sanders, who's the president of the McBee Foundation, was supposed to be here, but he may have gotten a little mixed up. But I just need to report that we met with the governor on Wednesday down at Taylor County, and similar to the presentation he did before in Gilchrist County, he presented each foundation with a $50,000 check, and he'll probably be bringing that to the next meeting.
Okay, and this is some of the, some of that money that these seniors, and then starting from 9th grade, I'm asking you this, not money, some of the information that we need, so these children would know about it, all these scholarships and grants and things that are available to them. And doesn't this one starts in 9th grade?
Third grade.
No, this is coming from the Education DOE Education Foundation.
Okay.
It has nothing with Bright, it doesn't do it with Bright Futures.
No, we have something here in Madison County.
Oh,
That
okay.
we
Oh, you
contributed
mean
money for.
Take Stock in Children.
Mhm.
Yes, that's where that.
That starts before
That's
ninth
in
grade.
third
It
grade.
starts in elementary school.
Okay.
Okay, yes, that's one
So
of the big.
he's the president of that, isn't he?
Yes, okay.
Okay, so that's what,
I'm
and
sorry, I
maybe we
was
need,
listening to.
maybe we need him to speak on that too, so we have more information and everybody have more information about all this money that's available to these children, so that, and they know the criteria
Okay,
to qualify for all this money.
yes.
So that would help those children a whole lot more from primary school.
Yes, the foundation is the prime sponsor of the Take Stock in Children from Madison County. Well, several organizations do matching scholarships for various people, and they match them up with the mentor.
And then, they do the, Teacher of the Year banquet too.
Yes, ma'am. They're very active.
Okay. And thank you, Mrs. Joseph. We'll go right to public comments. Do we have any public? Thank you. Okay, the consent agenda, it's item 4.1 minutes, 4.2 Madison County Central School soccer schedule, 4.3 fundraiser. May I have a motion for for approval?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
It is moved by Mrs. Thompson, second by Mr. Carroll, that we approve the consent agenda items. All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Ms. Bishop. Thank you. We'll go right into items for individual consideration. Mrs. Ritchie, you're up first. And what I'm going to do is, you have the first 3 items, then you're at the bottom. 5.8, contract with behavior management. I'm going to move that on up so you'll be the first 4. Is that okay?
That sounds great.
Thank you. So the first one is 5.1 ESC Special programs and procedures.
Yes, that was, it was advertised for 30 days, so it was open for public comment.
So we're gonna have to have the public input.
Okay.
Okay. This meeting is now open to public comment. We're having a public hearing. Do we have anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this or talk about it? Get any information about it? There be none. One time, public comment. Two times, public comment. Last and final time, will there be any public comment on the ESC special programs and procedures? There are none. We now close this meeting to public comment. Mrs. Ritchie.
All right. So the next one, 5.2, is,
We're
oh, wait.
gonna go ahead and vote.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go for it.
We're going to vote on it.
I move to approve the ESC special programs and procedures.
I second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Gibson, second by Mrs. Thompson, that we approve the ESC special programs and procedures. Comments, questions? There be none. All in favor? 5-0, Mrs. Bishop. 5.2, idea Part B, K through 12 entitlement.
All right. So as of now, just the K-12 entitlement has been approved by DOE. I'm waiting on the pre-K, so I'll come back for that one. But we wanted to go ahead and ask for any input on IDEA from you guys and accept it. So we have $811,000 from IDEA. That includes roll forward from last year.
Any questions, comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
So the one we have in the packet has like some changes in it. It's got some strike-throughs, that kind of stuff. You're wanting approval of the changes, right?
Yes, those were the DOE adjustments to it. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the IDEA entitlement, K through 12.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Knight, second by Mrs. Gibson, that we approve the changes to the, and the IDA Part B, K through 12 entitlements. All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Mrs. Bishop. 5.3, youth mental health awareness and training.
All right. This is an annual grant that we received to help train our staff on youth mental health awareness training. It pays for their stipends, supplies that we need in order to train them. It's a very small grant, but it's enough to pay for our teachers to get that training.
Okay. Every little bit helps.
That's right.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the youth mental health and awareness training.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved by Mrs. Knight, second by Mrs. Gibson, that we accept the youth mental health awareness and training. Questions?
Does it involve all the, you said the staff?
Yeah, all
Oh,
staff.
yeah,
All staff.
all staff?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Mrs. Bishop. Now we are going to 5.8, contract with behavior management.
So that is, that's my last therapist contract that I hope to bring to you guys. This is for behavior therapy for our students with the most significant needs in behavior. This pays for a behavior therapist to work with them and help develop our behavior intervention plans, functional behavior assessments, and also pays for RBTs, which are registered behavior technicians, to be in the classroom on a more regular basis to help our teachers.
Are there any questions? May I have a-
I mean,
Go ahead.
well, what I was going to say is, what would qualify them to get this service?
So they must go through the RTI, the MTSS team, unless they already have an IEP. And for that, we still try to go through the MTSS team to put interventions in place first. And so once we've gone through the team several times and we aren't making any progress, then we
Okay.
usually call in the big dogs to come help us.
Okay.
This is a very
Thank you.
good program.
Thank
We
you.
have so many children out there need that.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you.
good program.
And these therapists, they work more with the teachers to help train them in the regular classroom because they can't always be there. So to give them the skills that they need to work with those kids.
Exactly. May I have a motion for approval, please?
I move to approve the contract with behavior management.
I second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Thompson, second by Mrs. Knight, that we approve the contract with behavior management. Any other questions? All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Mrs. Bishop. Thank you, Ms. Ritchie. You can go home. Okay, we pulled 5.4, so we're going to 5.5, our personnel changes and volunteers. Mrs. Hill?
Don't have very many for you tonight, but we do have a resignation there. Working on more volunteers. So our volunteer numbers this year are really growing. We have had a lot of people sign up to be willing to volunteer, and we're very appreciative of that. Any questions?
Madam Chair, I move to accept the personnel changes.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Knight, second by Mr. Carroll, that we approve the personnel changes. All in favor of, please show your hand. 5-0, Mrs. Bishop. You did vote, Ms. Thompson? Okay, thank you, Mrs. Thompson.
Do we need a separate motion for the volunteers as well, or is that covering all of it?
Should cover all of it.
It should cover all of
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 5.6, field trips, Mrs. Joseph.
Okay, Madam Chair, I'm bringing before you 3 field trips at this time. The Central School is requesting to go to a football game, which is paid for by an outside vendor, on November 16th to FAMU. That's on a Saturday. The National FFA Convention will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, October 22 through 22nd. And Ms. Jenkins, she always attend that, all our FFA programs attend that, and they've got a funding source for that. And the third field trip, FFA to Olino State Park, October 15th, that was rescheduled because of the hurricane. So those are the 3 trips I have before you.
I move to approve the field trips.
I second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Gibson, second by Mrs. Thompson, that we approve the field trips. Questions? All in favor, please show your hands. 5-0, Mrs. Bishop. 5.7, Value Adjustment Board, Mrs. Joseph.
Okay, we need a community representative for the Value Adjustment Board. Has Ms. Bishop sent you some information? Y'all have some possible names? Ms. Bishop, who is the
Miss
present
Smith
person?
been doing it.
Huh?
I guess her name's Miss
Well, you
Smith.
can, you're on that board, aren't you?
No, I
Frankie?
need a community representative.
You're on that board, Frankie. Can you recommend somebody?
Miss Smith been,
Ms. Smith,
yeah, what, Margaret Ann.
have you
yeah.
spoken to her?
I have not, but
But that's the name recommended that
I
he,
will.
I spoke to her after our last time we discussed this, and she was still on board.
So that's what we need, a motion for someone for that.
Madam Chair, I move to nominate Margaret Ann Smith as our community representative for our Value Adjustment Board.
I'll second.
it has been moved by Mrs. Knight, second by Mr. Carroll, that we nominate Mrs. Margaret Ann Smith for the Value Adjustment Board. Questions? All in favor of, please show your hands. 5-0. Thank you. We're going right now into other items of interest. Madam Superintendent.
Okay, I got a lot of items. First, some of these items I put at your desk. This is FTE week, and I've given you a copy of, we're gonna be doing a live body counts every day this week because this is our funding source, and we've got to make sure that we can capture these. And it's, we made calendar adjustments because of the time that we were out for hurricanes. You still have to make so many days and make up days. And Ms. Hill is going to address that right now.
At this time, the way that the Department of Education allows us to set up our calendar, we can set it up on a 180-day schedule or the minimum amount of instructional hours. And so for the past, I know since I've been up here, we've used the instructional hour formula. And so because we go to school for a longer school day, that gives us some leeway on the number of days that we have to be at school. Currently, we have enough time built in that the students will not have to make up the storm days that they missed. Now, yes, we lost, 5 instructional days, or 4. That's huge, but we feel like with all the stress that all the students went through and everything that it's better for us just to pick up and move on. And so we don't have to make up the days for the students. Now, the teachers union is working on a proposal that they will present that has to be negotiated on the days for staff. And so I've not received that proposal yet. As soon as I do, I will bring it to you. And you guys can vote on it, and then we will take it back to the union and say this is what the board will agree to. So at the current time, I don't have that. I will have that by the next meeting, and I will bring it to you.
Thank you.
A 9-week report card.
We are shifting because of missing days. We're going to shift the 9 weeks cutoff date 2 days, and that splits 2 days on 1 9 weeks and 2 days on the other, as far as, trying to balance out the 2 9 weeks.
That means 9 weeks in official on October 22nd, and our report cards are going to be 2 days later, 2 school days later, which will be October 28th, and she's already posted that into Skyward.
And we will also send home a Bloom's notice for parents on that. But I want to make sure before we sent that out that we had shared that with y'all first.
And FTE. What are we doing?
So we contacted DOE about some scenarios since we are missing 4 days in the 11-day window. DOE has given us a couple of options to look at. One is to back up to 11 days before the storm and make that our FTE window, or leave it like it is and try to see if we can get everybody here. We went ahead and figured our data for the 11 days prior to the storm. We're also trying to get every student we can here during this window, and we'll see which one we get the most from.
So you can do that, you have an option of
Yes,
either
we have an
or.
option, yes.
And then the one that's better suited, the 11 day before, either,
Right.
and you get to choose.
Which one
Okay.
of them produces the
All right.
most students?
Yes, I
Yes.
understand that, but I'm trying to say you get to choose the one
Yes.
you want. Okay.
Of those 2 options, yes. So that's, we're really pushing to try to get the students to school. So far, we're down to about 15 that we're not going to get funded for if we don't get them to school this week, and so we're trying really hard to get them to school.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I've got a few
Yes,
more
ma'am.
things. In front of you, you should have seen a packet. These are the agreements and different things that we have with emergency management and Red Cross. We did a lot more work at the shelter than we're normally accustomed to. And right now, I'm checking the agreements that we have, see where we are operating according to law. And we know we've got another hurricane out there pending. To open a shelter or not open a shelter, it is not a school decision. I need you to understand, okay? Even though we wind up running it, it's not a school decision. And so these are the agreements and contracts that we'll function with, and I just want you to have access to them and to read them. Okay, one thing that we're doing because there was so much disruption is that we have a delayed starting time for the students. Classes began at 8:30 and will continue through the end of this week. And I guess our communications have been a bit off because some of my buses have been kind of missing. But the school day for the staff is exactly the same. That has not changed. But we do not want our kids unnecessarily standing out there in the dark. And the buses that's all over, that the comment about the bus that was all over Madison word of mouth, that was not Madison County School District bus. But that is a problem because the road department did clear these roads, but we know Tri-County is still out there working and they're dropping debris right in front of stop signs and things like that. And we're still working with the emergency management to move the debris out of where the kids, because kids, if they see the debris, they'll step in the road. And even though those were not directly our kids, all of these kids are our kids. We care about them. And we do address issues when we see them. Okay.
So you're saying until the end of this week, 8:30?
Until the end of this week. And hopefully they'll have the debris out the way and everybody in the routine, because some lines are still down, they're still falling. And we know we need to provide a quality education for our kids in a timely manner, but safety is more important than that. And so we're dealing with that. Something else that we have done, I need to do a special thanks to some counselors and some therapists. We understand, we have been traumatized, that's my word, okay? We have been through Debbie, we've been through the major threat, we've been through Helene, and we've got another storm out there pending upon us. And so we recognize that, and we recognize that it's affecting more than students as well as staff. And so on Wednesday, we brought some counselors in to talk with the staff, and they had privilege of group session and private session, and also on Thursday and Friday, we had some more counselors in to talk with students at all the schools should they choose. Now, we had some more scheduled for today, but they were coming from Lee County, and so they said, we can't make it. But I do appreciate the work that they've done. And so I will be sending them a personal note. Set of good news. It was touching though about the gym because the water had intruded into the gym at Central School. But all weekend they've been drying it out. So the Central School is officially open this week. And so we did not have to repair that floor again. And that's a 1 year's process, and we know that. But I just need to thank everybody for the support that we have received, and people have been more than generous.
Okay, so the middle school gym is officially open.
It's officially open.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Attorney? Mr. Carroll?
I'd just like to thank everybody that's had anything to do with helping with the storm with our schools, and thank Ms. Joseph for keeping us updated on what was what, and where they was at, and who wasn't going to be there, and that sort of thing. But anyway, you know, we've been through some tough times, but going through tough times make you stronger sometimes. So we just have to keep on keeping on.
And I would like to thank everybody too. I mean, everybody in, out of town, here, there, and everywhere. I understand what you're going through. I don't understand the effort that our staff has put forth. I understand they have families at home too, and they have put forth a lot of effort for this community and for those children at that shelter and for the community, anybody else who has come in it. And I applaud you all. You've done a wonderful job. I wish I could pay you some money. But anyway, that's what I can do is thank you. And I understand and I appreciate, I have empathy and I sympathize with everything that's going on. Thank you. Pass on down.
I would like to say thank you to all of our staff members as well. I was out at Lee Elementary the day that the students came back, and there were staff members without power, and they were all at work. Every single staff member was there, even with damage to their own homes and being without power. And so that was really heartwarming to see them come together to be there for the students. A lot of the staff members from Central came out and helped us do some distribution lines. And just seeing everybody come together is really heartwarming. So thank you all for everything you do.
And I just want to echo that. I know opening the shelter inside of the school is very taxing and a hardship on our staff and our teachers, having to pack up, relocate, and unpack and relocate again. I don't want that to be dismissed and not acknowledged. We do appreciate you all very much for leaving your homes and being there to work the shelter so that the rest of the community can be safe. Obviously, a shelter needs to be a priority for our community as far as a need moving forward for, grants and funding to hopefully avoid the disruption of the schools. But at the end of the day, it's what we have that's available and it's safe for our community right now. And I just want you guys to know, as somebody who's there, who tries to, participate as much as I can with you guys, I see what you're doing, and it is greatly appreciated. And to everybody who worked hard to try to protect the schools before the storm and to help clean up after, I hope this is the end of our subscription to hurricane season. So if you're a praying type, just continue to pray for our community and pray for those that, are going to be impacted by Milton. Just have empathy as somebody who's been through it 3 times in the last year. So, we know what these people are about to go through. So, just keep that in mind.
I'd like to echo what's been said already. I'm very thankful. Thank you to Mrs. Joseph and your staff and all the volunteers. I saw firsthand what was brought in, the generosity from, I couldn't even begin to name it all. I basically saw it at Pinetta, but it was just, I know it was happening all throughout the whole district, and it's unbelievable the things that were contributed, and we are very thankful. Thankful to all of our staff, faculty and staff.
And we had tons and tons of overlapping stuff that was given. And we even had the Lieutenant Governor come to Greenville School.
Yes, you did.
Lieutenant Governor came to Greenville School and she helped to pass out meals with the Red Cross. And we're just thankful.
And Ms. Chairperson, the commissioner did come down today, and the vice chancellor came down 2 days. So
Okay.
I've had the support from DOE that we need, and everything that I needed, they were able to help me with.
They're still giving out goodies. Thank you. Ms. Hubbard had people to come down, NAACP and Red Cross came down, and 2 or 3 truckloads came down, and Africa for Apple helped pass out all of that good stuff and help with that, so thank you. Okay. Anything else?
No, Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
Thank you, meeting adjourned.